Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Emmett Muckles.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode, another delving into the billionaire lifestyle. This is your host, that guy. I'm not going to even say my name, even though I just had a conversation related to my name, but you know who I am if you've listened to this before. You know that today is the best day of your life. Even if you don't feel like it, you're alive. If you are listening to me, today is awesome. And you might be thinking, I just had a heartbreak. I just got laid off. That just means it's just time for you to change. It's time for you to do something else. So let that go because it's in the past. Let's figure out what you want to do, or you figure out what you want to do and go do it. I know that sounds very masculine, but it is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. Get off your laurels and do it. Or rest a bit, then go do it. Anyway, love you all, but today my guest is Mr. Richard Fletcher, and we're going to talk about the magic sauce. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about getting it done on a specific type of budget. What's going on, Rich?
Hey, how are you doing, Emmett? Thanks for having me on. And may I say, I'm very roused by your little speech there, especially the bit about have a little sleep and go and do it. Sometimes it's like, oh, I fancy a little afternoon nap and then I'll go and do some work.
Yeah, sometimes it takes that. Sometimes, particularly here in America, we're so on the go culture. And it took me getting out of the country to say, we got it wrong. I mean, they're getting just as much done elsewhere, but they're doing it in less time because they are actually living versus just go.
Well, it's funny you say that. Like my business, I've done a lot more over the last couple of weeks, but generally I work about 15 hours a week because I'm like, I really enjoy what I do, but I'm kind of boring. I like just like sitting around at home underneath the blanket on the sofa with my wife and like two cats around and watching Netflix. I know that doesn't sound like Gary V, hustler, 16 hours a day. You got to be up at 4 a.m., bro, and work till midnight and then have 2 hours sleep and then, I don't know, all that nonsense. But I'm like, yeah, I quite like my lifestyle and I don't want that to change. Funny thing about you said about gone off topic already. We've not even started the interview.
I know, right?
I know it's like already gone off at a tangent here, but probably one of my best weeks in business was in September, where sometimes you don't realize it, but I was starting to get a bit jaded, just a bit like, I can't be arsed getting up and doing work and stuff. And then I went on holiday with my wife for a week to Santorini in Greece. It's a Greek island. And came back. And by about day 4 or 5, I was like, I'd quite fancy getting back to work now and getting back into it. And I came back and I just like really fired up and really enjoyed it and signed up a bunch of people as soon as I came back. And I'm just like, it's only kind of after you've come all refreshed that you realize the power of downtime, which, obviously you just mentioned.
Yeah, because, there's a yin and yang to everything, which means, you can't just go. Because just think about it as a runner. Okay, I'm a runner. I'm going to go out and I'm just going to run. I am going to run all day. At some point, your body is going to say, no, you're going to stop right now. And then when you do stop, you're going to go, but I have to keep running. Your body's going to say, no, you need to sit here a little while longer. And it's only when the body is ready that it will release you to go do it. And then when you go do it, it's going to be so much easier. So it's reflected in our nature. It's reflected in a sine wave. It always goes to zero. It goes negative for a while, then it comes back positive. Nothing is constant. Even DC, and I'm talking voltage here, the battery runs out and you have to replace it. So, Rich, tell me what you do, man.
Okay, so I am an online business coach, and what I do specifically is I show other coaches, usually like fitness coaches, especially I like helping like these spiritual coaches and people who can do a lot of stuff like life coaches who can do a billion different things. I help them really figure out their message so they can start selling their courses online. And I do that specifically through Facebook organic. So in real terms, what that means is I show them how to write daily Facebook posts on their personal feed that attract their ideal clients who are like, that's interesting. I could use a piece of this. And then those people go, okay, I guess I'll have to message this person. And then they send them a message on Messenger. And then all they do is go, okay, I'll filter out the ones who I don't like that much and convert the rest. That is literally all I do in my business. That's why I work 15 hours a week or so, because it's so efficient. And I show other people how to do that. So there's a lot of kind of technicalities that go into the how-to of that, because there's a lot of people trying to do this and not being very successful. But the actual process is really simple to understand.
You know, one of my biggest peeves in this climate is every time I go somewhere in the digital space, someone is accosting me, wanting my attention. Someone is asking me, they're trying to get money from me. I can do this. I can do this. I can show you how to do this. Here's the proof. And often it is so impersonal.
Right.
If you actually delve into it, you know, because sometimes people, hey, I'll make a post and say, hey, this is Emmett. I want to be your coach, yada, 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 but I've automated the system. I get you in. It's kind of like a guy going after a girl in the 80s. He tells her everything she wants to hear, and then he backs way off once he gets what he wants. That's what I feel like. But, you know, you have a key to help people to do this with little or no startup cost. What got you into that?
Do you know, I kind of did it. I kind of did this by accident. So I've been doing the online thing myself, various kind of things. I fell into MLMs and stuff, which I won't go into now. But you know, the first one where I joined Herbalife in like 2003, I joined, and my upline distributors like, you know, you need to be signing up to the super duper diamond distributor, whatever package,
right.
You know, because then you're going to get like, I don't know, 30% commission instead of 10%. And that's what a serious business owner does. If you want to take your business seriously, you need to be signed up for this. I'm like, I'm a serious business owner. Okay. I ended up with like $3,000 worth of like stock in my parents' garage that never got sold. You know, That was like my first experience of business. And I went through a bunch of stuff and various online businesses, and I ended up, it's funny you mentioned dating. I was a dating coach for a while. I did all that stuff. And I was kind of like helping guys find their miss right without having to use all the sleazy pickup lines and all that kind of stuff that you were sort of alluding to. And I got to the point where, like, last year I got married, about March last year. And I just found myself getting bored of it, partly because I was like, the idea of talking to guys about, you know, meeting women and bars and all that kind of stuff, I just kind of got bored of it. But also, I found I was dealing with the same problems, the same guys in different forms over and over again. I'm like, it's like Groundhog Day here. And at the same time, I found myself in other people's Facebook groups talking about marketing all day long and helping people with stuff, and just kind of not really thinking about it and doing it for free. But then I kept saying like controversial stuff or disagreeing with the group owner on stuff and getting kicked out. I was like, well, why don't I start my own group?
Right.
Just so I can talk about stuff. And then I invited a bunch of people I knew who were marketing friends in there. And then that group grew to like 4,000 odd people.
Wow.
Then, yeah, that was over the course of about 6 or 7 months. But after about 2 months, maybe one month and a bit, I realized these people needed some help, and like more help than I could give in just an answer on a Facebook post. So I created a course. It was a 90-day plan, and I took a bunch of them through it one-on-one, and then I became a business coach, and here I am today. So I started that group in June last year. Obviously, it's now December, so we're 18 months on, and here I am today. So I sort of fell into the whole business coaching thing by accident. You know, never planned to be one, but here we are.
That's funny because I created a group, but I didn't know what to do with the group. I really didn't. And I realized something about myself that is probably indicative of most people. They don't know the focus, or they haven't focused or niched down to a specific, or if it's broad, it's not very succinct in what they want to say.
Yeah. So this is... sorry to interrupt.
No, but with you, so you have this group, and what's the name of the group?
It's called The Magic Sauce for Online Marketing.
And from there, is that an open forum that anybody can join? Yeah,
it's a... I think they call it a private group now. It used to be a closed group on Facebook. So you have to apply to join, but then I accept you. So, you know, as long as you've not got like a profile picture that's got like 17 guns on, or, you know, it's like you've got no profile picture at all, or it's something like real, or your profile picture is a picture of like a Bitcoin or something, then I'll let you in, you know?
So why did you?
Because I know as soon as I let those people in, they're going to like 0.3 seconds later, they're going to make a spam post about Bitcoin.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
it's like I'm like, I couldn't write a post that quickly if I joined the group. I don't know how they do it.
So how did you come up with magic sauce? I mean, it's a very generic term that is probably global in the English language, but I keep hearing this when it comes to you, magic sauce.
Well, it was just something I've been talking about a lot at the time, like with various people, about how I see people with their marketing, or I see people making posts on Facebook, and it just sounds so generic, doesn't it? Like, when you scroll your Facebook feed and people are like, they're coming up with the same posts all the time.
Yep.
You need to be authentic if you want to be a success in business. You need to be grateful if you want to be a success in business. I personally squeeze my gratitude rock 3 times every morning. And, you need to be the change you want to see in the world. A common one I'm seeing at the moment, for some reason, is people saying, don't compare your everyday life to everyone else's life on Facebook, because what people post on Facebook is their highlight reel. Don't compare your life to their highlight reel because you'll feel sad. I'm like, that is now becoming a cliche as well. Yeah. So what we're seeing is all these posts that are the same as everyone else. And I was like, people need a magic source. So as soon as they appear on someone's newsfeed, or it doesn't matter if it's an ad or they see a website of theirs, whatever, you go to the website, you see their post, and you're like, this is different. I haven't seen this before. It wakes you up from like the brainless monotony of scrolling on your feed where you're not even thinking about it. You're just like, just wasting time. Yep. And then you stop and you go, what's that? And then you go, oh, that's interesting. Wow, okay, I need to click. I need to see some more of this. That's what the magic sauce is all about. How do you get them to do that? Not just by using like a pattern interrupt that shocks them, but something that's believable where they go, do you know what? I've already signed up to 300 online business courses, and I've spent like $100,000, and none of them worked. But this time, actually, I believe it can be different. That's the real skill. That's the hard bit.
So, you said it yourself. You was like, I fell into this. I've been trying and trying and trying. And then one day, just kind of by happenstance, I did this thing and it was a success. Mm. And so people might ask you, say like, hey, so, because I would ask you this if I was interested, if I saw a post, and this is my moniker, I'd be like, why are you qualified to show me something?
That's a good question. And there's a lot of people who aren't. So the first thing is, it's not the first thing I was successful in. I was already successful in the dating advice business. So I was already like, I had a 5K course that I was regularly signing clients up through. I was just getting bored of it. So I found that I naturally transitioned into the online coaching for business coaching. And I just stopped advertising the dating side. So I'd already had the experience on that side. But moreover, just because I'm getting results for people, like literally what I'm teaching them is getting results. Like I signed someone up on Thursday this week, and he'd already got 5 sales calls booked, offer a new offer by the very next day, like by 24 hours later. And now he's obviously working his way through them, and I'm showing how to deal with those. So with a bit of luck, he's going to have paid off the program within a week. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to do for people. And the more recent people are getting those kind of results, because I've been thinking, well, previous people going through the program were taking a couple of months to get results, to set everything up and get it working. I was like, how can I get faster results? So I've just been experimenting. And that's really where the qualification comes in. It's like, are you helping people just like the people you're signing up get results? That's what I would say about it. But yeah, it's a fair question, because you've got a lot of people who are like, I did a 2-hour digital marketing course yesterday. Now I'm a digital marketing coach because I hear there's a lot of money in it. I'm like, can I swear on your show, Emmett? Is that allowed?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm just like, will you just fuck off? I'm just like, seriously, just fuck off. Like when you see these people, someone who's in my program a while ago sent me a link to a website yesterday. He goes, what do you think of this? Is this good marketing? Is this good copy? And I'm like, this is shit. This is some of the worst copy I've ever seen. And then it turns out this is like someone who's a digital marketing coach who's talking about standing out from other people, appealing to your audience, speaking directly to that person, saying all the right things about what you need to do. But when you read her stuff, it's absolute crap. This is like the scourge of our niche, Emmett, isn't it? Yeah. This is why it's so hard for good people to sign clients up, because so many people have been burned.
And
I'm going to be ranting now. We're only like 10 minutes in or something.
Yeah, but I'm an information junkie. I have to know. Yeah. Like literally, that's my premise in life is I don't like being ignorant. I feel uncomfortable being ignorant. And when I find someone that can mentor me, I want to understand. I want to understand that I am getting the value or the necessary tools that I require, oftentimes that requires a relationship with someone for me. And I recently signed up for something because it wasn't just the information, it was the individual. I needed both of those things, and oftentimes they don't give it. And I can usually tell because you'll get on this correspondence and you get these emails and it looks like it's from that person, but you understand that it does not have a soul. It's an automation. And I'm just like, oh. And I literally turn green and grow and want to smash things.
I would like to see that. Maybe from a distance.
Yeah, from a distance.
From like behind a safe window or something like that. I totally agree with that. And I was talking to someone this morning about how people learn marketing, they learn to write copy and stuff like that, but then they lose a bit of their soul in the process. They lose a bit of themselves. So I see a lot of copy where everything is technically in the right place, but it's like, I have read this so many times before.
Yeah.
I don't get a sense of who you are. And I think, one of the trends I'm seeing, one of the things I think will be big in 2020 and beyond is what I would call personality-driven copy, especially organically on Facebook. You can't just write copy that's like sort of nuts and bolts, like it was written by a robot.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Where it's like, I'll say, have you got this problem? Then you'll kind of push the pain points a bit and go, isn't it awful to have this problem? Well, I've got the solution for you. Send me a message and that's it. You can't write copy like that anymore. You need to have personality. You need to be entertaining. Make them laugh. Show them a bit of yourself. Show that you're a real person, because people are getting wise to all this stuff. That stuff was great in 2016, but people have been burned too many times. They're more savvy these days.
I understand that we're going through a new economy. We're moving to an economy that's more similar that it should be, or more like it should be, because we were in the 20th century. We were very manufacturer based. We were very corporate based, and everybody went into their box, did what they did, came out of their box, went home. I am happy to see that people are venturing out and having person-to-person, business relationships, but everybody is not the same, and that's what is really ticking me off. But I want to diverge a little bit. So I want to know, how do you make money? How do you personally make money with what you do?
Okay, like literally, like when I sit down in the morning or whatever.
Okay.
So I've got a program called the Ecosystem. So that program currently costs $6,500 US. So what I do is I have a load of people on my friend list and in my Facebook group as well. I make almost daily posts, not quite every day, but mostly daily posts, which are aimed at that target market, which speak to them. So I have all kinds of different type of posts where some might be like a valuable post where I teach you something that nobody else is teaching you. Like, okay, this guy knows his stuff. Another type of post would be what I call a credibility post, where I show I am getting results for people.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all kinds of different posts that are basically aimed to take you from whatever you're thinking right now, whatever you think is the right way to do business, but you're not getting results, to come around to my way of thinking, which is, if you do this, it's quite easy and you can get the result. And to trusting me into believing, okay, well, this guy's getting results, maybe he can get results for me. Then what happens is, over time, you see enough of my content. What will happen is one of two things. You'll see some of my content a few times and you'll be like, this guy's a dick, and you'll unfriend me. In which case, there's no accounting for taste, is there, Emmett? I know, and you'll find this hard to believe, but not everyone thinks I'm amazing. I know that'll be a shock for you right now.
Same here. Same here.
I know, right? I'm like, what is wrong with people? And I'm not biased, of course, but some people will be like, this guy's a dick, I'm unfriending him, block, and you're done. Half the time I don't even notice this happened. They're just gone off your friend list.
Right.
Some people I really like this guy. I really get what he's talking about. And they follow you for a while. A lot of the times they follow you silently. Like, they don't like any of your posts. They don't comment. And then one day they pop up from nowhere and be like, hey, Richard, I've been following you for 6 months and I'd really like to talk about your program. They just hit the point where they've heard enough, or they're ready, they've got enough money to invest now, or they've done enough other stuff and now they're ready to invest in you. Whatever it is, they've hit the point where mentally they go, okay, it's time. And they appear in my messenger inbox and they go, can I have a chat about the ecosystem? This happened this morning, actually, like about 3 or 4 hours ago. I was still in bed. I was having like a lazy morning. And someone messages me and goes, hey, can we talk about your ecosystem? I was like, sure. So we have a chat. I talk about what she's doing. And like 10 minutes in on Messenger, I'm like, how about I just give you a quick call on Messenger? It's easier than chat. And she's like, yeah, sure. So I did that. We chatted for like 20 minutes, talked about what she was doing, made an offer, and she was like, okay, sure, I'd like to sign up. And it's literally that easy. That is literally how I make money. One of the reasons it's so easy to sign people up, as opposed to like, people will be thinking, people who do sales calls, especially people who do like, are you familiar with like the Facebook ad to webinar method that goes to a sales call? That's like really common these days. It's like everyone's trying to do that. It's so much harder to convert people with that method because there's less trust. It's like, I only heard of you yesterday and I'm talking to you today. Who are you? Whereas if you've been following someone for like 6 months and you've seen all their stuff, you've seen all their results, and you kind of get a flavor of who they are, and you feel like you know them, by the time they're ready to sign up and they're like, okay, I've heard enough of this guy. I know, I trust him. I want him to help me now. Really, the conversation's more about, from my side, just checking what they're doing and making sure I can help them.
Yeah.
Then it's about logistics. How long is your program? How much time do I need to put in? How much does it cost? Okay, let's do it. Totally different to normal sales calls. That is literally all I do to make money. And it's like, if I average one person a week signing up, what's that? That's like 25 grand a month, It's not too bad, is it? You can live off that without too much bother.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Just about.
I might struggle a bit, but, I could get by.
You got to cut back some months. Some months I might just have to drive a Porsche rather than a Ferrari. But, you make do, don't you, Emmett? I mean, actually, I don't. I drive a 10-year-old Jaguar because I'm like a little old lady that goes to the shops. I drive about 50 miles a week. I'm like, I'm not buying a new car. Fuck that.
So with that, they get actual personal access to you.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I keep jumping in, but I suppose
no. This is kosher. So they get personal access to you. So they're not just. It's not this content that you've developed, this course that you've developed, and you're like, here, digest this.
Yeah, and I here, digest this. Now I'm blocking you. Now you never get to speak to me ever again. That's one. Do you know what? That's one of my pet hates these days, Emmett. It's like everyone is so obsessed with scaling, aren't they? Like, you get these people who are making like $0 or maybe $2,000 a month, and they're like, I don't want to do one-on-one. I want to be able to scale. I'm like, why don't you do one-on-one and get yourself to 10 grand a month and then worry about scale? Get some results for your clients, get used to coaching people. Don't worry about having a massive group coaching program when you've actually served nobody yet. Yeah. So people try doing these group coaching programs. They're like, I need to scale, so I can't give any personal support. Whereas I'm like, I've been through so many of those programs where I was disappointed, where it was like, 6 weeks, 8 weeks of generic videos, and you try to get some support, and all you get is like a Facebook group where you ask a question and the other students answer. So the blind helping the blind, basically. Yeah. Or you get like a weekly Q&A call where there's 50 other people on. You get like a 2-minute slot, and you ask your question, and the person answers, and they're like, did I answer your question? And you feel like you have to say yes because it's like another 20 people in the queue behind. It's not like personal support. So my program is a group program that's it's got one-on-one support. So you still it's a 6-week program, and you get a video every week teaching you what you need to know that week. So I don't have to like teach everybody the same thing over and over. Right. But then the key bit is that you come back to me and I show you, okay, now you've watched the video. Example, week 2 is all about the 4 different types of Facebook posts that you need to be writing organically in order to attract a customer. Now, that's the same for everybody. So you watch the video, then you come back to me and I go, okay, I want you to write a credibility post now, stick it in a Google Doc and send it to me when you've done. Then I review it, and then I fill it full of comments and say, okay, for your business, you need to talk about this. This is what you need to put here. Okay, this is too wordy. Cut it down to this. That's where the one-on-one stuff comes in, because what happens is, usually people, they think they get the right idea of what to do, but then when they apply it, they screw it up.
I am totally.
There needs to be someone in the way to say, don't do it like this, do it like this.
So you are the Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Or the Yoda, whatever you want.
Or the Yoda to their Luke Skywalker. So, and I believe that's what's missing. And this is what is not conveyed quite often when I am looking at information. I see someone that's interesting, but as soon as you get burned, as soon as you don't have that connection, or you have someone who is the opposite, who is down your throat, like you're trying to wash your dishes and they're like messaging you like, hey, you're like, look, I'm trying to drop my kids off at school and I'm late for work and you're asking me to on a call. So, there's a good balance that is required for all of that. Now, there's this question that I saw in our correspondence, and it's about, and I didn't understand it, and it's 10 in a week guy.
10 in a week. Oh, yeah. I think I should have said 10K in a week. 10 in a week. What the hell does that mean?
I was like, what's 10 in a week?
Well, this was one of my early customers. This was March this year. I had a guy that came to me and he's like, so what would you suggest for me to do if I was going to make 10 grand in a week? Because I could do with paying some bills here, And I'm like, well, it's not always that easy. I can't just wave a magic wand. But I had a look at what he did. And it turns out this guy didn't have any money to invest in my program. Right. So I was like, normally at that point, you'd be like, get lost. I'll tell you when you sign up. I'm like, do you know what? If I can help someone, whether they give me any money or not, why not do it? Why not do it? So I did. And I said, okay, this is what I would recommend for you. What you're currently advertising for your program. This guy, it turns out this guy's, he's an Amazon seller himself, but he also coaches other Amazon sellers on how to get their product up the rankings. Yeah. So I didn't know much about Amazon sort of listings and stuff, but it turns out their listings is similar to Google. Like you have rankings, you got page 1, you got page 26. Your products are on page 26, nobody's going to see them.
Correct.
Your products on page 1, everyone's going to see them. So he's got a system that takes people in a month and takes your product from page 26 to page 1. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. But the way he was advertising it, this was not clear in the slightest. And it took me about 20 minutes of asking questions before I'm like, this is what you do? Why isn't this front page of your website? Why isn't this it? This is amazing. So he had 1,100 people in his Facebook group and he was pretty dead. He wasn't posting. So I said, okay, let's make a post that essentially says, I am looking for a number of people to come on a new trial program, which will help you get this result. It'll take you from page 22 of Amazon to page 1 inside a month. I'll show you exactly what you're to do. We'll work with you every step of the way. This is a trial program, so you're getting cheaper than what the end program will be. The end program will be $4,000, but when you sign up with me this time, it's going to be, I can't remember what it was, $1,500, I think it was. Yeah. Who's interested? And he got a bunch of comments, people then messaging him. And I showed him how to talk to those people and do a call and close them into a deal. And by the end of, it wasn't 1 week, but by the end of 2 or 3 weeks, he'd made 20 grand. And I'm just like, this is the power, not dissimilar to the guy this week. I actually wrote the post for him. And they said, put this post out. And he got 12 or 13 people responding, of which I think he's got 5 converting to sales calls, and there'll be more now. And it's about, it doesn't need to take forever to get results, but it's about having that clear benefit, that clear offer that someone sees in about 10 seconds and goes, that is exactly what I get from this person. It's unambiguous. I want that, or I don't want that, as opposed to the guy when he came to me on Thursday, just to go off tangent, I wrote it all down. What he said, well, I'm a meditation teacher and I help with wellness and I also do some mindset. And I can do stress relief as well and energy relief. So I do a bit of a practical side, but also the spiritual as well. And I do emotional clearing and clear out blocks and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's not an offer. So I said, well, what if, and I asked him some more detailed questions about the kind of results he'd got for people in the past and this. And I said, well, what if you aimed at the entrepreneurial market and asked the question, why is it that with the same resources, the same intelligence, the same tools, everything is the same? You've got some entrepreneurs who are making 2K a month, some 5K, some 10K, some 10K, some 20K, some millions with the same resources. What's going on? And it turns out that we've all got these emotional knots in our brain, similar to knots that you get in your shoulder when you're stiff or whatever. Well, when you've got a knot in your shoulder, you know it because you feel it. It hurts. You need a massage or something to get rid of it. But when you've got an emotional knot in your brain, you don't notice it. But what it shows up as, these knots come from our life experiences. You asked a girl out when you were younger and she laughed in your face. That creates a knot. You invited someone into your program on a sales call and they said, yes, I'll send you the money, and then ghosted you afterwards. That creates a knot. Every time you said, I'm doing this on my online business, and your family will get a proper job, that creates a knot. So you've got all these knots in your brain that are effectively holding you back, that are stopping you. You need something similar. You need a mental massage to get rid of these knots before you can move forward. Otherwise, you're always going to self-sabotage. And the offer was within 30 minutes, he can find whatever your knot is, he can find it and identify it and say, okay, this is what you need to do to fix it. Who would be interested in a 30-minute chat with this guy? And he got 12, 13 people go, yes. So suddenly we've gone from meditation and mindset and all that vague stuff to something really clear and really interesting that a number of people are coming up with. So that's kind of what I do on the first call with people. I go, okay, let's get rid of all this vague shit and come up with something that's actually targeted at someone that gets a result. And it was the same with this other guy with the Amazon stuff.
So you're finding out what problem they are trying to solve. What problem can you solve for someone else, and who has that problem?
Yeah. It's one or two things. Either people have got a problem that needs solving, or they don't necessarily have a problem, but they could be doing much better if they had your thing. So, one thing that I notice is there's an obsession with pain points. And you get on a sales call with someone and it's like pain point. Like, oh, what's going to happen if you don't get this result? How awful is it going to be? Maybe your wife's going to leave you. Maybe you're going to end up in the ditch and you're going to turn to drugs and then you'll die in the gutter. I'm like, give it a rest, Whereas that just doesn't work with me, because I'm like, I know I'm doing well in life. I'm happy with my life. I don't need anything more. But if you show me I can go from like 30 grand a month to 100 grand a month with no extra effort, and you can show me, and the way you talk to me is like, look, you're doing so well right now. You're killing it. You're doing so much better than everyone else. You've done brilliant in your business. I can see you doing a fantastic job. But if you did this, and this, you'd still be able to work your 15 hours and sit under the blankie every afternoon and have a nap and watch Netflix or whatever. Well, you can make 100 grand a month and still serve all your clients in the same way. You wouldn't be getting any worse results for your clients, and you'd have all this extra money. And this is how it works. Now I'm listening. Now I'm paying attention.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's kind of like two different kinds of people. You're either aiming at the people who are in pain, who want to get out of pain. You might call it like jumping out the fire, or you're aiming at the people who are more growth oriented, who are always trying to get better. And you attract those people by saying, look, you're doing great, but you could be doing even better. You've got this tiny yacht, which is great, but you could have a super yacht.
Yeah. That's interesting because I always see the way they targeted these ads. Would you like to make six figures? Would you like to make six figures? And me, as the skeptical individual that I am, I understand most people can't even manage four figures. So if they can't manage four figures, you get them to six figures. I did that right. Six figures. They're still going to suck.
Yeah, absolutely. They're still going to find a way to throw all the money away.
Hey, it is what it is. So do you offer any, get to know you besides Facebook? Do you have any, your website, any offers, any workshops that people kind of get ingrained with you?
So if you find me on Facebook, my name's Richard Fletcher, obviously, as you said at the start, just find my profile on Facebook. All the posts are public. You don't have to friend request me or anything. You can start looking through all my posts. So it's like, you could probably sit there for like the next 24 hours reading posts and watching videos. That'll get you acquainted pretty fast. You can look on my website, magicsourcemarketing.com, and have a look on there. I'm actually updating at the moment, so by the time people hear this, there's going to be a blog. Because one thing that annoys me about Facebook, Emmett, is like I'll make a post. I'm like, wow, that was a good post. I mean, I think that about all my posts. I am quite biased, but I'm like that especially was a good post. And it's like all the people, like loads of people, like that was awesome. Oh my god, thanks Richard, that was brilliant. But the next day, it's gone forever.
Yeah,
off of news feeds. And I'm like, all right, it's about time I like took some of these posts, the best posts, and put them onto a blog so they're actually there and people can find them. And so by the time people probably listen to this, there'll be a blog there on the website as well. But yeah, come and have a look at that stuff. And then if you want to talk to me, by all means, send me a friend request. And you can message me if you want to talk more about what you do and how I can help you. But warning, do not send me some crap pitch in your first message on the DMs, because that's not going to go down too well. Because I'm like literally like, I know what you're doing here. It's like I tried to do this about like a year ago, and I'm like, I feel a bit icky, and it's not working very well. Yeah. I'm spending like an hour a day just sending messages, and this is not how I want to live my life. I didn't leave a boring corporate job to then do a boring job working for myself.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone enjoys sending DMs every day, do they?
No.
I know outreach works for some people, but I think outreach as a tactic is only going to get less successful as time goes on, in my opinion.
So what's your website?
MagicSauceMarketing.com.
MagicSauceMarketing.com. See, that's why I was asking. I'm like, where'd you come up with this magic sauce from? Like, and how did you get the domain Magic Sauce?
Yeah, it was there. Literally, when I was coming up my Facebook group, I was sat in. I I still had a day job back then last year. Actually, I'm coming up. This time next week is my 1 year anniversary of having no job. So I might have a little party and get drunk then. But
hey, I have to ask you this question. When you left your job, did you do it like, hey guys, I'm leaving, or did you just go, piss off, I'm out?
Well, like the old, you reminded me then of like the old ads from like 2008, sack your boss, all that stuff. Do you remember them? It's like, sack your boss and live on the beach, That really resonated with me back in the day. And now I'm like, God, that's super lame. No, actually, I was an IT. It's not as cool as that. There's no cool story. I was an IT contractor. My contract came to an end and they were just like, yeah, we're not renewing you this time. I was like, okay, I could look for another contract or I might as well carry on with my online business. So I did.
Awesome.
And here we are a year later. Time flies.
It was divine.
It's been a good year. Yeah. But Ben not renewing my contract was like, I probably would have gone another few months and just be like on the safe side, but I'm glad they did. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I want to thank you so much for being on the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast, man. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me on. I've enjoyed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've given you some information of like how you can grow, how you can build a relationship and you can move forward in your own endeavor because there's something inside you that is available that someone else finds of value. You just have to find out, A, what that is in you, and B, who that can benefit, because we are a society. We are a clan. We are a group. We are fractal. We're all made up of the same stuff and we need to help each other. We've gotten away from this thing because of this Puritan capitalistic system that we've created, and we need to get back to having relationships, which means providing for your brother. Be a human being, person of the sun, in the image of man, having the experience and sharing it with others. Remember, there's some things that we have to keep right now, which is this doctrine. No matter what religion or doctrine you hear, they have this basic premise: treat others like you want to be treated. If you can do just that, and sometimes that requires you to, we have this thing called the Miranda rights when you get arrested in the United States, which means you have the right to shut up. Sometimes we need to just shut up and listen to what our brother needs because we may have that key. Till next time, love you all. Peace.